Avram and Joel Glazer decided to urgently sell the club after the Sevilla defeat. The American owners of Manchester United, Avram and Joel Glazer, have announced that they have decided to sell the club urgently after losing 3-0 to Sevilla in the UEFA Champions League. It is said that the Glazer brothers were not satisfied with the sporting and financial performance of the club and decided to sell the club immediately after the defeat so that the value of the club would not decrease. The Glazer family bought Manchester United in 2005 for £790 million, however, as the club's debts increased, its sporting successes decreased. The club supporters also showed a great reaction against the Glazer family and wanted the club to be sold. The heavy defeat in the Sevilla match was the last straw. The Glazer brothers held a meeting after the game and said, "We were proud to own Manchester United, but now we think the club needs a new vision. We will take the necessary steps to sell the club quickly." The Qatari billionaire group is expected to come to Manchester this week to make their final bids. Erik ten Hag could raise £92 million for Manchester United rebuild by selling 6 players this summer. The Manchester Evening News understands that a plethora of players could face the axe this summer as the club tries to stay within financial fair play rules following last year's £225 million spend. Harry Maguire is one set for the for sale list. The defender recorded an unfortunate own goal in the first leg against Sevilla before being jointly responsible for the Spaniards' opener in Thursday's loss. Maguire cost £80 million in 2019, but its value has drastically diminished 3 years later. It's certain United will take a loss on their skipper, but they would rather offload him permanently than delay his exit with a loan switch. Mensport also understands United are open to axing Anthony Martial too. The striker has missed more than 30 games through injury this campaign and came off with an apparent knock in Seville this week. Although no fault of his own, the forward's constant setbacks are becoming a hindrance and fans are understandably becoming tired of his unreliability. Martial is priced at around £13 million, a figure which, admittedly, would cause ten Hag to question whether it would be worth allowing him to leave. Either Aaron Wan-Bissaka or Diogo Dalot may be shown the door if Jeremy Frimpong joins the club. However, despite his New Year comeback, it would be he who was more likely to exit than £31 million rated Dalot, given the Englishman was offered to clubs without success last summer. Outcasts Eric Bailly and Alex Telles would fetch around £17 million, with both Marseille and Sevilla thought not keen on keeping either respective player beyond their current loan spell. The departures of Maguire, Martial, Wan-Bissaka, Williams, Bailey and Telles would drum up a total of £81 million to be injected into new arrivals, and potentially as much as £92 million should Dalot depart instead of Wan-Bissaka. Erik ten Hag addresses mental issue Manchester United must overcome. The loss in Andalusia meant that United's impressive run in Europe has come to an end, and with roughly 4 weeks remaining of the season, Ten Hag has the chance to win another trophy and finish in the top 4. Thankfully, United are well placed to end the season strongly in the league, but they will face a stern test in the FA Cup this weekend when they make the trip to Wembley to face Brighton and Hove Albion. Speaking ahead of the game against Brighton, Ten Hag addressed the topic, insisting that United's continued failure in certain games is down to a mental problem. It's paramount that Ten Hag arrests the disappointment from the Europa League exit immediately by beating Brighton, but that is easier said than done. Thankfully, he will be able to welcome Bruno Fernandes back to the squad after the Portuguese international missed the trip to Seville. Paul Scholes backs Antony to be a huge player for Manchester United. Paul Scholes has backed divisive Manchester United winger Antony to be a huge player for the Red Devils over the next few years. Antony appeared to take a while to adapt to his new surroundings following an £82 million move from Ajax last summer. Several pundits have questioned whether the Brazilian has a long-term future at Old Trafford, but Antony has looked a different player recently, according to Scholes. The United legend says Antony has started to look like the player we all expected and believes he will emerge as a key member of Erik ten Hag's squad for the next couple of seasons at least. Scholes told BT Sport, "Antony is a 22-year-old Brazilian star. He came from another country and normally took some getting used to, but he could be a huge player for this club in the next few years," said. Antony played 90 minutes against Sevilla but was unable to prevent Manchester United from slipping to a 3-0 defeat and crashing out of the Europa League. The Red Devils will look to bounce back on Sunday when they face informed Brighton in the semi-finals of the FA Cup. Harry Maguire open to Serie A exit as Italian clubs circle and more Manchester United rumors. Harry Maguire would reportedly be open to a transfer to an Italian club, with a number of Serie A clubs pending an interest in the Manchester United defender. The centre-back has come in for persistent criticism for his performances during his stay at Old Trafford, including in Thursday's Europa League loss to Sevilla, where a mistake led to the home side's opening goal. The Manchester Evening News understands that Maguire could be put up for sale by Erik ten Hag this summer, with more outgoings expected than incomings. Victor Lindelof also admitted during March's international break that he will be assessing his options at the end of the season. A report from 90 Minute claims club captain Maguire is open on the idea of a move to Serie A. English centre-halves Chris Smalling and Fikayo Tomori have excelled after making moves to Italy. Juventus, Inter Milan and Milan have all apparently flagged their interest in the 30-year-old, albeit only on loan given his big wages. United's injury woes continue as Anthony Martial spotted walking gingerly after Europa League exit. The less said about last night's affairs the better, because ultimately, it was embarrassing. The Red Devils exited the Europa League, despite being favourites to win it, with not an ounce of fight or spirit between them. As if that wasn't bad enough, the manager could now face further injury woes in the form of Martial and Luke Shaw, as both were spotted limping on the pitch in the closing stages. There is yet to be an update on the pair, but Shaw was able to see out the second half, so hopefully that's a positive sign. The Frenchman, however, was spotted post-match walking gingerly to Sevilla's dressing room, where he spent half a season on loan in 2021. If he is ruled out of the forthcoming matches, then Ten Hag simply has to sell him in the summer. He has been injured for longer periods than he's been available this campaign, and it's just been an ongoing issue since he arrived at the club, so it's unlikely to change anytime soon. Martial is far too unreliable to lead the line at a club wanting to challenge and compete at the highest level season after season. It's a shame it hasn't really worked out the way we all thought it would, but a transfer is the best option for all parties involved. Friends, the latest developments about Manchester United are here. See you in the next video. Bye.